Alright. Well, it's been several hours later, and the sheath is dry now. And what's happened is everything is kind of shrunk up and molded around all of the little patterns that are in the sheath. This side I did a little patterning on with the antler and a round piece of brass, and it's the back side of the sheath. I just wanted to practice a little bit. So stitch came out real tight, and I fixed the little drip part of the sheath here so that it's a little bit more symmetrical. So for right now, my plan is to kind of define the edges a little bit more. So I'm going to take this piece of antler, and anywhere there's a little ridge, I kind of want to make that stand out. So I'm just burnishing with the antler here, and that kind of defines that line right there. This isn't necessary, of course, it's just aesthetics, and I kind of like the way it looks like that, so that's what I'm doing. You can decorate these things any way you want. Alright, I'm pretty sure that I need just a little bit more moisture in the leather for it to pick up the imprint I'm doing, so I'm going to give this a try here. That seems to work a little better. Alright, this is just an antler. I tried all sorts of different things. I tried dental tools and the backs of my punches, and it just seems like these antlers work the best for some reason. Everything else seems to cut and tear. So I'm just going to start doing groups of 3 dots. When I was blowing glass and couldn't figure out what pattern to put into something, it was always groups of 3 dots. So that's what we'll do here. And I'm just going to put them on here kind of randomly. Alright, one more set. Alright. Pretty cool dots kind of looks like a cactus or something. It's the Western Scandinavian sheath. Alright, so the next step is going to be putting some dye on this. And I don't have any leather dyes, and I think that this leather was actually already dyed before I got it. It was out of a scrap bin at the flea market. But I'm going to grab some my shoe polish kit, basically. We're going to use a little shoe polish here. This is Kiwi brand. It is the Cordovan. It's kind of a oxblood type color. It's for your maroon leather shoes. We're going to use Edge Black or Color Renew, and that's going to hit all the edges and make them look finished. And then we're going to use some mink oil, and that's going to darken it all up and make it really soft. I'm not sure if this is alright to do. I assume you're supposed to use leather dyes for this kind of stuff, but this has been dyeing my shoes for years and I didn't want to spend any extra, so that's what we're going to do. Alright, so I really like how it contrasts like that. Probably a little bit more in the holes than I wanted, but we can just kind of work that out. Okay. Alright, so that's the dye we're putting on it. And then if you turn it over, you can see what it used to look like. Do the same thing to this side. The shoe leather seems to give it kind of a, or the shoe polish, I don't know if it's the leather or the shoe polish, but it's kind of not real consistent in its application. It might be because I have a little moisture in the leather, I'm not sure, but I really like it. It gives little highlights and it looks like it's been worn and looks like it's been around the block for a few minutes. I'll make sure I get all of this leather down in here. Okay. Alright. So that's looking pretty good. I actually like that pattern a lot. It's just a brass rod that I took and put circles all over by pushing it in, and then I took the antler and just made a hole in the center of each one of those circles and some random ones between the circles. So last night I thought I'd be fancy and do a twist braid with this. It would have looked better had I put the leather side out, but I had the suede side out, so this morning I just kind of undid it. Alright, there's one. There's Okay. So now it has a real nice feel and look to it. I want to do a little bit more here. So this here is, let's see, actually I want to use this here. So this here is mink oil. I don't know what's in mink oil. I'm sure it's not minks. But I'm going to rub that all over the sheath here. And the place that I like to do it the most is where there is this suede that's showing. And if you put the mink oil on it, it actually knocks that suede down. And gives it a more finished type look. So I'm just going to get that on there. Kind of massage it in. There's probably all sorts of better way to do this, but I don't mind getting my fingers dirty, so that's what we're going to do. Okay. I want all of this material in here. Make sure we get our little drip flap. Alright. So now I'm just going to kind of buff off all that extra oil. I'm not sure if that waterproofs it or not, but it's got to add some kind of water resistance to it. Okay. Okay, so the last thing I want to do here is put some edge black on there. And this is another Kiwi leather product. It's a Heel and Toe Edge Color Renew. It's black. I don't think there's actually any color to the product itself, but when you put it on the edges of your material, it gives them a, oh, actually it does have a bit of a color. Let's see here. So what inspired me to make this sheath originally was I made my little file knife and then didn't think I had the skill to make a sheath, so I hired it out. And this guy that made me a sheath, I swear, it looked like it came right out of a Boy Scout project book kit. And I thought, if that guy can do that and try to sell it, I'm just gonna make my own. It can't be any worse. And honestly, I like this sheath a lot, and it's pretty easy to do. Okay. Make sure I get in there in the stitching. Okay. All right. I believe we're calling this one